St. Johns County has the top-rated school district in Florida, and it's those excellent schools that are helping draw in so many new families to the county. In fact, it's one of the top 20 fastest-growing counties in the entire country. I sat down with the school superintendent to see how the district plans to keep up with the exploding growth and what families can expect going forward.
This is our new house, and it's in Shearwater, and it's new construction, so everything is brand new, which we love.
Jillian and Sean Constable, like so many young families moving to St. Johns County, picked this spot in large part because it's in the #1 ranked school district in Florida. They moved into Shearwater, a new subdivision off County Road 210 that is expected to have 2,000 homes when it's built out.
It just seemed like the perfect location-wise because it was just far enough outside of the city, but still close enough where the commute isn't terrible. And then on top of that, it just has a much better school system, and for raising a family and things like that, it's just better.
From 2010 to 2017, St. Johns County saw its population grow by 28%. Right now, the district has just shy of 40,000 students. In the next 10 years, Superintendent Tim Forson says the district is projected to surpass 50,000 students. Are you concerned about the growth?
Absolutely, because parents move in, you have to have a seat for that child when they come. And so we always have to be planning ahead.
The district is growing by more than a school a year. 1,500 new students were added this year. Within the next 20 years, the district projects it will add enough students to fill 20 new schools.
So it's really about a school a year, but that will also include expansion of existing schools, adding capacity to many schools that we already have online. One of the reasons is there's just not going to be that many school sites and land available to build 25 schools within that same window of time, most likely.
Right now, construction is underway on this new K-8 school in Aberdeen in the northwest part of the county. And another new school is being built in Nocatee that will open in August. The superintendent says the half-cent sales tax approved by voters in 2015 has helped the district be able to afford the growth. But with that growth, parents need to be prepared for change.
The flip side of that is that if you come into our school, especially in the north part of the county, there's a good chance that if you're bringing a child into the elementary years, that they may be rezoned to another school at some point in time during their career because there are that many schools coming online.
So the new schools in Aberdeen and Nocatee that open this August, they'll start out as K-6 schools and will add a grade each year until they become K-8 schools. Also, next school year, Mill Creek Elementary will become Mill Creek Academy and also a K-8 school.